I am hoping you guys don't mind that I'm doing a garage talk here. Main reason why, I thought I charged my camera, it said 95%, hooked it on the helmet, I'm driving home, I'm talking, and I get home and it recorded nothing. And it said 3%. I don't know what I did wrong, but that happens. So, because I don't have a lot of stored things that really work well together, I'm just going to do this real fast. I'm talking about the same thing I was talking about then. Now, I'm on a trike. I love my trike. You guys can see it's a trike. I've had a two-wheeler. I had my VTX. I've had a Sportster. I've had a Triumph. I've had all kinds of bikes, most of which were old used. I've had a few new. My VTX was new. This is new. The trike I had before this was new. And my Sportster was new, which I bought overseas. New car sales. But the thing is, what to you makes it a motorcycle? A lot of people, it's just two wheels. So if it has two wheels and an engine, it's a well, what about mopeds? What about motorized bikes? I wouldn't really call a motorized bike a motorcycle, but the original motorcycles were nothing more than a motorized bike. Mopeds, I think, are a different beast. Three wheels, well, I consider it a motorcycle. It's got a motorcycle engine. I'm still sitting on top of it. I have to put my leg over it. What about the, what was that, the Tomahawk that they put out with the Viper engine? I mean, this thing was massive. Technically, it had four wheels because the front wheels sat like this. They did that number when they went. Rear wheels, I think, did the same thing, and so that would give it a little more stability when it was trying to stand still. I don't think I'd ever really want one of those, but you know, could that still be considered a motorcycle? It's got four wheels. I don't know. So everybody's got a different viewpoint. I've had people tell me, this is not a motorcycle, it's a trike. Okay, but I use the term interchangeable. If it upsets you, I'm very sorry. Just the way I look at it. Now, here's one of the things I've seen, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this lately. It's something I really worry about. Not necessarily for me, but for a lot of, let's say, newer riders. Once you get your license, how much do you practice? How many times do you go out and run a course? You don't have to pay for them to run them. Generally, dealerships can have a course near it. I know if you're near a military base, most military bases have a course on them. I go over here to Fort Meade myself, and I love running the course at least once a month, sometimes more. It's kind of fun. It's not the same on a trike as it is a two-wheeler. I can still do the slalom, no problem. My rear tires are wider, and it takes more to get through the slalom. So I'm a little wider, but you have to think of that when you ride in a different bike. On my VTX, man, I could take that swallow, boom, back and forth, no problem. Tilt that sucker over, tilt that sucker over. The reason I do it like this, you're trying to angle yourself on the seat. So you're leaning this way, you're leaning that way. On a trike, it's not really a lean. Sometimes you're going to feel yourself leaning, especially if you're in a really tight turn, to try and put more weight onto one of the tires. I don't know if it really helps or not. I think it's mostly mental. Because if I'm not leaning, it's literally, I have to turn the wheel. Because a trike is a different dynamic. It's something I love to do, though. I love to ride. I really enjoy doing it. These things are great. They're a release. They're a way for us to get around. They are fun. It's a culture of friendship. Not everyone's as friendly as you would think. Not everybody's as mean as you would think. But it's something we all do. At least those of us who are bikers. I'm hoping that you guys agree with me and that we can all be, you know, the same thing out there. People looking out for other bikers. I've heard a lot of people lately saying, oh, the biker culture has changed drastically. I don't know if it's changed, but I think a lot of people have interesting ideas on what it means to be a biker. One of the things that I keep hearing is, oh, you have to stop for every single biker, you gotta stay. I've been on a lot of rides where it's like, hey, here's the thing, if you break down, we're gonna get you to a safe place, and then we're gonna continue the ride because we have things that are going on. If you don't feel safe, we're not gonna leave you. We might leave your bike, but we'll put you on the back of somebody's bike. 9 times out of 10, the person's wanting to stay with their bike. If your bike is questionable, are you sure you should have gone on that ride? Am I saying that we should just leave people? No. But it needs to be said up front. I usually, if I'm going with somebody, I'm going to stay with them. Sometimes you might get separated and you turn back or you stop. I've seen people on the side of the road who have a cell phone and they just wave like, no, don't worry about moving over. Okay, fine, I'll stop. I won't pull over with you. I'll see a group on the side of the road. I'll wave at them. What help would I be one person when you already have 10 there? I don't need to stop. Now, if I'm in a big group, yeah, we're all going to stop to check you. That's what the 10 people there are with them. But back to the trials and testing and checking yourself. How many do it? I try at least once a month to go through one of the courses. These are not the paid courses. This is just, you have it laid out, you know which one to do. You do the box, you do the figure 8, you do the S curves, you do the sudden stops, you do the emergency stops, you do the swerve left, the swerve right, the emergency braking. You're testing your bike because guess what? These things get older. I've got 45,000 miles on this. I want to make sure that I'm not going to hurt myself and I'm not going to hurt anybody else. My other bike, I had almost 100,000 miles when I finally sold it. I think this one's going to go a lot higher because, well, it's only 2 years and I've got 45,000 miles on it. But this is a much better road bike than my VTX. My VTX was great for back roads and stuff like that. It really wasn't a long distance bike, even though I treated it that way a lot of times. This is a long distance bike. This is really comfortable for long distance. I've done 1,000 miles on this and it didn't bother me a bit. I could have gone 15 that day. But let's keep in mind what our limitations are, what other people's limitations are, what we can do to help them out. Again, I am not the expert. I am not 100% on anything. I am just a writer telling you what I like and what I enjoy and what I try to do. I'm not perfect. I don't know anyone who is. If you guys know somebody who's perfect, double check. There's usually something up there. And it might just be our thinking. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm sorry if this is not your gig today. You guys have a great day.